Hey there, everybody. So I've got an interesting case tonight. I was going through my stuff, and like I said, a lot of these things I got a long time ago. This one I particularly got when I was a kid. It's Super Mario Brothers 2. Everybody knows this game. You know, I don't really have to explain what it is, but I was opening it, and I knew that it was complete in box, and I was thinking, oh, complete in box, it can't be that bad. But I mean, if you get a look at the box isn't in the best shape. But I was like, you know what? I'm sure it's fine. And I take it out, and then I see it's like this. And so we got some like major sticker residue hanging out right here. We got some major, well, just a sticker on the label, which kind of sucks. Some grime and some dirt. I don't know if you can see that, but this thing's just in rough shape. There's a sticker on the back. And then the back label here is torn. Like I said last time, label's torn. You can't really do anything about that. But there's a sticker on it. I'm going to try to clean it up as best I can. Eventually I'm probably going to get a new one. And at that point, I'll probably just give this one away. But for the time being, let's see how clean we can get it. And yeah, basically I'll just tell you what I do. So here we go. So first thing I'm going to try to do is try to get some of this label sticker stuff off. And for that, I haven't found anything that works really well. I mean, I've tried the alcohol thing. I really don't want to use Windex, which is, you know, what I use for the outside, because I'm afraid it's gonna dye this label blue, and that would suck. So, you know, I've got my little homemade Goo Gone solution here, and I'll go over that here in a minute. But I think for now, I'm just going to try. I've got a ever so slightly damp sponge. I mean, like, if I rub my finger on it like this, like, I'm still not getting any water on my finger. It's just like ever so damp. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly brush the top of the sticker here, and then basically just keep on working it. Until I can rub off a lot of this. And honestly, when you're cleaning these carts, especially the labels, your fingers are probably one of the best tools you have, because if you just ever so lightly wet it, and make sure when you wet it you don't get anywhere near the edges of the label so that the water gets under the seal, but then just rub it like this. Here, I'm going to rub it down here so you guys can, so I can actually rub it without messing it up. See, I'm already getting a good deal of that stuff off of there. So, and I haven't really hurt the label at all. Now, it is a little discolored by whatever that adhesive is that's on the back of that thing. And we'll try to take care of that. We'll try to see if we can do something about that. But that's basically what I'm going to do right here. So I'm going to keep doing that for a little bit while I watch a little AGDQ. Somebody speedrunning Doom right now, which is pretty fun. And I'll catch up with you guys after I get some more of this stuff off this way. And then we'll move on to the next way. So sometimes too, just to give you guys an update on what I'm doing. See, I'm getting a little bit more of that stuff off, but now I'm starting not to be able to rub off quite as much with my fingers. So I'm gonna take my fingernail and just ever so slightly, like, I'm not really putting any downward pressure on the label at all. And just kind of go over those parts. And I know you can't really see exactly what I'm doing, but you can hear it. And eventually, after a very long time, I'm going to be able to get this stuff off. So why don't I use something bigger and maybe a little less abrasive than my fingernail? Well, because my fingernail is actually really easy to work with, and like, it's very precision. I can actually, you know, scratch off only the part that I want to scratch. And then I will say, if this label was in a little better condition and I wasn't just trying to bring it back from the dead, pretty much, I probably wouldn't do this. I would probably just try to rub with my fingers a little bit more. But this thing is so messed up anyway. I'm just really trying to get it so that it looks good. You know, if it's sitting on a shelf or something like that, not really past close inspection. I mean, if we get this cartridge in even, like, good quality, by the end of the time we're done, I'll be surprised. But anyways, so that's what I'm doing. So, continuing. Alright, we're slowly bringing it back to life. It's just taking a little while. So I'll keep going on this, and I'll just make a cut here. And for you guys, it'll be but a moment. For me, it'll be a while. Okay, so, what's been probably 5 seconds for you guys took me about an hour, but I finally got all that label crap off. In the process, I uncovered a couple more imperfections of the label. There's a little bit of bubbling right here. Nothing too bad, nothing near the edges, so it's not going to make the label come off, probably. There's a little divot right here. There's a little hole underneath the cartridge label. If you push too hard, it'll basically make a little circular indentation in the label itself. So that has happened. And then little tear right here that I didn't notice that was under one of those stickers. So all in all, though, considering how bad this label was before, this is actually really not bad at all for the result to come out with. So next, I'm going to start tackling some of this residue on the side. Now, I found it instructable, because I'm out of Goo Gone at the moment, for homemade Goo Gone, which is basically 1 part vegetable oil and then 2 parts baking soda. Supposedly the oil is good at breaking down the adhesive. I don't know how well this is going to work, but basically I'm going to apply it, and then we'll come back here in a little bit and we'll wipe it off and see what happens. So I'm just going to take a Q-tip here, rub it on the side right here where this adhesive is, because this is that same like glue stuff that had those labels on it. Now, if this had been a label that I cared a super ton about, as in it wasn't already like in rough shape already, I'm not sure that I would have done what I ended up doing. I got up there for a little bit, went upstairs, tried to get a hairdryer, tried to warm up some of that glue that was on the label. It didn't do a thing. Usually that will actually just like make the adhesive a little gummy, and then you can kind of wipe it off a little better. It didn't do it at all. So whatever was on there was like some sort of cement or something like that, and that's the same stuff that's right here on the side that you can see. You guys can see right there. I got my homemade Goo Gone on it. But we'll see how this works. So give me I don't know. We'll give it a few minutes and set it aside, and then we'll come back and wipe it off. So. Okay, so let's see if our homemade Goo Gone was able to do anything. I left it sitting for about 10 minutes. That may or may not have been enough. We'll see. But, you know, see what happens. I mean, if this is the same adhesive that was on the label, I'm going to be very surprised if it actually works. Doesn't look like anything's coming off. Alright. Looks like I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. We'll try the adhesive remover on this this sticker residue back here. This doesn't look like it's the same kind of crap that's on the front, so, yeah. We'll do that in just a second. Alright, so our Goo Gone didn't work. Sad. But what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'll get this stuff off later. You guys kind of saw how I dealt with that. Which was not very gracefully, by the way. But we're going to work on this this sticker here in the back. I have a feeling our Goo Gone's going to do a little better on it, because it seems like it's more of a traditional sticker, because it's actually like coming off. Not really leaving much residue here. And this one, I might not even really need to use the Goo Gone, we'll see. Maybe better just for me to use my hand. But, so there we go. Gross, yucky, you know, decades old sticker. Sorry, video hits, but this is no longer your game. Hasn't been for years. So this one I think I can probably just rub a little bit here. So there's what we're looking at. That's the residue that's left. Alright, so we got a little bit of residue there. Let's go ahead and use our Goo Gone here. This one I can actually rub it in, again using a Q-tip, but I can just rub it in without really any fear of damaging anything this time. Okay. And then let's just wipe her off, see what happens. Yeah, and that actually worked pretty darn well. I'm going to do one more application of it. So we're right there. And then you got this little abrasive side of the sponge, which is, again, not nearly abrasive enough to scratch the plastic, but it is good enough to get in those little grooves in there and clean stuff out. So, it's already looking a lot better. We got one more sticker to take care of back here, and I have a feeling this is one of these little, you see the metallic stuff right there? Usually this is a real, like, stiff sticker, and they used it as a, this metal thing was like a security thing, so if you ever walked out the door with the game, but without checking it out first, the alarm would go off, and this is what would make that happen. So, usually these are pretty stiff and don't really leave a whole lot of residue, we'll see. It does worry me a little bit that it's on the back label, and that might make it leave some stuff, we'll see. But, even if it does, I mean, look at this label. This thing's not in great shape, so not too worried about that. Besides, who displays an NES game by showing the back label, right? So, it's sticking on pretty well. And that is characteristic of these security stickers. They generally stick on pretty heavily. Okay, so this one, if you'll notice, you can see right there, it's starting to peel off the text. If that happens, you can try to stop what you're doing and start from the other side, and that might help you, or it might not. It looks like this particular one was probably sold from one store to another, or maybe sold used to the store and then they started renting it out, just because this label was torn before they put the sticker on it. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that I'm not getting the sticker off without ripping at least a little bit more of that label. Once a label is torn, as I've said before, once a label is torn, you're kind of screwed. It's not going to be nearly as easy to get it clean or fixed. And see, yeah, there you go. See, it's tearing right off. So actually, I'm probably better off going from this end, saving as much as I can. But, well, let's just rip off the Band-Aid. That's a little uglier than it was before. But hey, at least there's not a sticker on it. And there was, again, really no saving that. If I were to want to make this thing, like, pretty, again, done about all I can for the front label. But I would basically just rip off that back label and replace it. I wouldn't sell it or, you know, give it to a collector or anything like that, because, you know, that's dishonest to replace a label. But I would give it away. Probably will give it away. So anyways, so yeah, I'm going to work on getting the rest of this residue off. And, yeah, I'll be back when it's done. So I was able to get most of that sticky residue off, and it's probably kind of hard to see with the light. But there is still a little bit of discoloration there. That kind of yellowy discoloration from that glue. Truthfully, I don't know if I'll ever get that off. And if you can't really see it here, but if I run my finger on this, it's actually pretty smooth. Compared to this, which is pretty rough. You know, normally there's that little bit of texture to an NES cartridge. Well, over here there isn't any, because I think that cement or whatever it was kind of ate away at the cartridge a little bit, which is why that color is still sticking around a little bit over there. But hey, you know what? I've seen worse copies of Mario 2 in retro game stores, so I think we brought this one back to life fairly reasonably, about as reasonably as I can expect anyway. So I'm actually pretty happy with this, and that'll do it for today. But thank you guys for watching, and I got some other repair videos or cleaning videos on my channel. I got some Let's Plays, so be sure to check those out, and I'll see you next time.